Good morning, viewers. I am Saraswati. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic is transactions in database management system. Database transaction. Transactions is a one type of method which is used for insert, delete, and retrieval of the database and modification of the data. So, empathy of the transaction. What is mean by transaction? Transaction is a single logical unit of work. It comprising read-write operations that must either fully complete, that is commit, or fail entirely. It ensure database consistency. Each in transaction, it possesses the property is acid property. Acid means atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. This transaction contains the states such as active, partially committed, committed, failed, and aborted. This is a mind map of transactions. Each transaction is a acid property, and then read the transactions. In that, read the transaction is a non-repeatable mode and a lost update mode, dirty read mode. In the transaction isolation level, serializability and read uncommitted and read committed. And then consistency is a SQL and no SQL transaction defined. The properties of a transaction is a asset property. Whether the entire transaction it takes place at once or does not happen at all. This is a definition of a atomicity. Either at least once will be taken or it does not happen at all. C means for consistency. It must be a consistent before and after the transaction. The database must be consistent. Before we are updating the database or after updating the database. Isolation. The multiple transactions occur independently without interfere. That is, no other any two transaction will interfere with each other. D is a durability. If the changes of a successful transaction, it occurs even if the system fails or occurs. These are the states of transactions. Uh, begin. In begin and end, there are 5 states are there. Whether the transaction is enter into the active state. If it is fully processing means committed. Otherwise, if the processing is it contains only few steps mean it means for a partially committed. If it is partially committed, then it goes to the state committed. If it is partially committed means whether it is failed for transaction or it allocates the memory for other type of transactions, it goes to the failed state. Again, it process the abort state. If the transaction is goes to committed state and in the process, it determine whether the transaction is partially committed or failed. If it is failed means about the transactions. Ideate. These are the transactions states. Whether read or write operations, active partially committed means committed state. If it is stored as a permanent storage, if it goes to a failure state, and then roll back abort state transaction. For example of a given transactions. If the bank account money transfer, the transaction contains a transfer $100 from account A to account B. The amount $100. These are the steps to follow the transaction to transfer the amount from account A to account B. Initially begin the transaction. It marks the start of the transactions and read of A. A is a account A into the temporary buffer. read the current balance, and then updating a balance, whether it is deducted. Deducted A is equal to A minus 100. Deducts $100 from the balance in the buffer. Every data item will be stored in a temporary buffer. The right of A. It updates the balance of account A in the database with a new value. For example, $500 to 400. That is 100 is deducted. Read B. Read the current balance of account B into the buffer. B is another account. A is one account. If B is add 100 rupees, $100 into the balance in the buffer. Initially, the B contains 200 means if you are adding $100, that is $300. Right of B. It updates the balance of account B onto the database. Whether all the process will be committed means all the process has successfully executed means is a commit operation invoked. If you are going to a failed transaction, it goes to the failed state. Practical examples of an applications: banking system, e-commerce application, and travel booking. If you are reserving a flight and hostel requires, it both three are confirmed together to avoid having a flight, but no hotel room. Assessment. Which property ensure that either all the operations of a transaction are reflected into the database? First one is atomicity. Second one, the database must remain in a consistent state after any transaction. This property is known as a remain consistency. These are the some of the references of this event. Thank you.